Hello Grace Workers. By the end of this video, you're going to be way more productive and you're going to have the exact strategies that you need to ensure that you do not procrastinate moving forward. So the picture that you clicked on in order to watch this video basically tells you everything you need to know about me. I am currently a student, a PhD student in business. I'm a business coach and productivity strategist. As you see by the videos that I put out on a weekly basis, I am also a content creator. And if you do not already know, I am a Christian, and by default that basically means that I have a ministry. And in addition to all of these, I have a whole life that basically demands me to learn how to manage my time. Now, a lot of the strategies I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, I have personally used in my life in some form or the other, and so I can tell you for a fact that these strategies work. If you have been struggling to get your time back, this is the video to watch. There is something known as the Eisenhower Matrix. It is basically a time management tool that helps you prioritize better by categorizing the tasks that you have based on their level of urgency and importance. So the Eisenhower Matrix is basically this quadrant, and this quadrant is divided into urgent and important, urgent and not important, not urgent and important, not urgent and not important. This quadrant will basically help you focus on what truly matters, because that's one of the biggest problems we have when it comes to maximizing productivity or managing our time better. We literally just feel like everything is important. And everything is not important. Neither is everything urgent. So when you divide the things that you have to do into this matrix, then that basically helps you to focus on things that would actually move the needle forward in the areas of your life that matters most. So basically, if you have tasks that are urgent and important, it means those are tasks that you should start your day with. Like, you should literally wake up and literally get to work on those tasks that their deadlines are like the next day or the next week, whatever the case may be, as long as it is urgent. And not only is it urgent, but it is also important, meaning if you do not get this done, it is going to affect you negatively in a way that you do not want. So in that case, it means not only is that task urgent, but it is also important. And if something falls under those two categories, then that is something that you should wake up and get to work doing ASAP. Like, immediately you have gotten your shower, you've dressed up, you've done the key things, you've prayed, all right, then immediately after you get to work on that thing. The second category is not urgent but important. So these are tasks that are very important. So basically, if you do not do them, they have negative consequences that you do not want for yourself. So definitely these are going to be tasks that are important to you. However, they're not urgent, which means the deadline is far into the future, like 6 months from now, 3 months from now. It's not something that if you do not do immediately, it will attract immediate consequences. So in those cases, you want to schedule a time to do it. So what I would do is I would go on my calendar and I would put, do this at this time. Do you get? So when you do it that way, you have ensured that this is already scheduled into the future, and when the time comes, you know that, okay, I actually have to get this work done. Another strategy is for tasks that are not urgent but that are important. I would encourage you to schedule them for weekends, which means you've done the most urgent tasks during the weekdays. That was the first thing you did when you woke up in the morning. And so the not urgent tasks, you keep them for days that are basically slower. You don't have much to do and you've done the most important tasks during the week. So basically at this point, you can just take your time and focus on these important tasks that have a deadline that is further into the future. So I would recommend that you focus on doing those tasks during the weekends. And then of course you have tasks that are not important but they are urgent. So basically these are tasks that don't have like very dire consequences, which means if you don't do them, it is not going to kill you. It's not going to destroy your life. However, they are urgent. They're just those really little pesky tasks that you feel like they're urgent and they need to be done. But like, if you never find the time to do it, it's not going to kill you. For those tasks, I will encourage you to delegate. We're in the days of artificial intelligence, we're in the days of AI and technology and remote working and so on and so forth. Get a personal assistant, someone that works online that can help with that, or delegate to AI. Ask ChatGPT to help simplify that task for you, or use other AI tools to quicken those processes. I remember there was someone I told to help with one of the tasks that I had, that fell into this category, and she just used like AI tools to get the work done. So we thank God for technology. We thank God that there are tools that we can actually delegate this sort of tasks to these days. So take advantage of it, and those tasks are tasks you should most likely not do the moment you wake up. I will encourage you to either delegate it, or you can use artificial intelligence tools to do those during the your break time in the afternoon, or during the evening time where you've done your most important work. Like you've already finished your most important tasks and now it's evening and you have a few spare minutes or a spare hour, so you can get a little work done. I feel like that is the best time to do this, because a lot of the tasks that fall under this category doesn't necessarily require a lot of brain power, and I feel like tasks that don't require that much brain power should be kept to later during the day and should not be the first thing you're doing in the morning. Then finally, under the Eisenhower matrix, we have the not important and not urgent. Guys, for every task that falls under that bracket, please delete it from your calendar, delete it from your mind, delete it from your heart, delete it from your lips. Just delete it. Like, that is you. The reason you have no time is because you keep putting all your energy on tasks that are not urgent and not important. And that is why you do not have enough time to focus on the things that matter most. Once you take advantage of this framework, the Eisenhower matrix, oh my gosh, it is going to take your prioritization skills to the next level. I'm talking, you're going to be able to get work done in your business. There's no excuse why you cannot even start a side business when you have skills like this, because you'll be able to balance your job, your business, your family, your school, and so on and so forth. Hello guys, I hope that you're enjoying this video as much as I am. However, I just wanted to take a second to invite you to my free masterclass called the Purposeful Profits Masterclass, where I'm going to be sharing the 3 costly mistakes that beginners make when starting a business. These mistakes are not only draining your time, but they're also draining your money and your impact. And in this masterclass, not only am I going to be exposing these mistakes, because I've been there, done that, I've made all the mistakes, but I'm at the other end, thankfully, of those mistakes. And in the masterclass, I'm going to be sharing all the ways to avoid those mistakes so that you don't even have to go through the tumultuous and stressful and time-consuming journey that I had to go through. Like I said, this masterclass is free, and if you're interested, you can get your tickets using the link in the description box below or in the pinned comments below. That being said, let's jump right back into the video. All right, so the second strategy that we're going to be taking advantage of when it comes to up-leveling our productivity and getting our time back is weekly planning. Guys, this is a game changer. I know that some people are so spontaneous, like they do not ever want to plan anything. But there is a saying that goes, plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. This saying was from our beloved Eisenhower. Oh my gosh, this is so true. Because as a Christian, you know that you can plan out your whole life. I'm going to be married by 20. I'm going to have had all my children by 25. I would be a celebrity by 26, and so on and so forth. We have all our plans, and regardless of our plans, God always comes through and like, so actually you're going to do this by 27, and then by 30 that's when you would get married. And he just has his own plans. So as Christians, you should already be used to the fact that you have your plans, and then God has his plans, and then his plans are the ones that ends up getting executed. And because of that, some people don't even plan at all. Don't do that, okay? Do not fall into the category of people that have no plans, okay? I understand the fact that, you want to be spontaneous, or, you've planned in the past and it just didn't work out. It doesn't mean that plans are not important. If you do not plan, you have basically already failed. If you do not plan, you have already set yourself up for failure. You need to have some sort of structure for how your time is going to be spent. You wonder why so much of your time is going into things that do not matter, and every day you're under pressure, you're burnt out. It is because you do not have even a skeleton of a plan. Like, you do not have a skeletal plan. You have nothing. And so when someone comes up and they're like, hey girl, I'm coming over to your house, you're like, oh, come over. And then they come, and then the whole day goes by, and then you have things that you've not yet done. Guys, why will you not burn out? Why will you not burn out? Tell me. Which is why this strategy will change your life. What I do personally, and I found that this works and is so life-changing, it helped me accomplish so much last year. Most Sundays are slow days for people. Like, they go to church and then they come back home and they just rest and, prepare for the work week. I will encourage you to just set out time on Sundays. Let's say after you get back from church, you've eaten, you've taken a nap, you've spent some family time. There is a brief, 30 minutes to an hour that you have either before going to bed or after waking up from your nap that you can actually just sacrifice to create a skeletal plan of your week. You can write down Mondays through Fridays. Remember, using our previous strategy, you can now write down the most urgent and the most important tasks as the first thing you need to do every single day. About 3 tasks per day throughout the week. So this just gives me a bird's eye view of what I have on my plate for the new week. So that way, if someone reaches out to me and they say, hey Benny, I want to come over, I look at my weekly calendar and I'm like, I'm only free on Saturdays, okay? And that way I'm able to, accurately give out my time when I actually don't have much going on. So you're not sacrificing the time that you're meant to be spending doing the most important things in essence. And then in the course of the week, regularly go over that to ensure that you're actually keeping track with the things that you have already said you would need to get done for that week. Okay, the final time management strategy that I will give to you is not something that you might expect, but this matters just as much as the other 2 strategies, and that is give yourself grace. Guys, you need to give yourself grace, especially when you know that you're doing all the right things, you're planning, you're prioritizing properly, and yet sometimes things just come up that just take up your time. So what then happens in those situations? Grace, guys, give yourself grace. I already shared with you about how I always plan out my week ahead of time, and I always focus on things that are urgent and important, and I prioritize those things on a daily basis. However, a good example of times that you need to give yourself grace is this video. I am shooting this video on a day that I had so many other things planned. However, I woke up and I felt God telling me in my spirit to help someone with something. And then of course, time went by and I wasn't able to do the other things that I scheduled out to do. In that situation, am I going to kill myself and say, oh my God, I didn't prioritize properly. Oh my God, I didn't follow my weekly plan. No, I'm going to give myself grace that, wow, I am grateful to God that I was able to help this person. Even though I did not plan for these things, God led me to do them, and so that makes them important. So please extend grace to yourself. There are times where friends may just visit you and you did not plan for that visit, or you find out that a loved one needs a bit of extra attention. So are you just going to give up on them, or are you just going to walk away and say, oh my God, I didn't plan for this, I have other things that I prioritize? No. You will make exceptions for those days where things come up that you did not plan for, and you will give yourself grace, because that doesn't happen every day. And so extend grace to yourself when things come up that you do not plan for. If you're here to subscribe, kindly hit that subscribe button, and you can also check out this video right here. See you there.